Hi, Lucas and Leia is Daddy, and now I'm reading you a book called Once Upon a Mastodon, all about prehistoric mammals. Let's start. Once Upon a Mastodon by Bonnie Worth. I'm the cat in the hat. Oh, please turn the page to discover some mammals from the Great Ice Age. Over 2 million years ago in the past, 1/3 of our planet came to be frozen fast. In the cold, many mammals did not survive. Others went south where warmth helped them thrive. The mammals that stayed in the north mostly were covered with fat and with thick coats of fur. What is a mammal, you might like to know? I have some ideas, so I will give it a go. A mammal is warm-blooded, has lungs and backbone, but there's one other trait that I'd like to make known. Moms feed their young milk from their mammary glands. That's why they are called mammals, as I understand. The mammals you will see on the tour I am giving are extinct, which means they are no longer living. How do we know how they looked, you might ask? We study their fossils, a difficult task. Experts can guess from very few traces how these beasts look, both their bodies and faces, what they are, how they moved, and how big they grew, if they were made of female, and how they died too. Teeth, toothpaste, and bones from long, long ago are what we call fossils, a word you may know. The sloth of today is the size of a cat, but there were once a ground sloth much bigger than that. As big as an elephant, it had such long claws, it needed to walk on the sides of its paws. The sloth's footprints tell as clear as you please that it reared on hind legs to munch on the trees. And here is a mammal, a real crowd pleaser, still around at time of the great Julius Caesar, with stout horns that spread ever wider and bolder. The aurochs stood 6 feet high at the shoulder. In cold North America, on one Ice Age day, the dire wolf here was stalking her prey. Her prey sank down deep in the tar, and too late, the dire wolf found she had met the same fate. That's the dire wolf. Come closer, my friends, that is if you dare, and say hi to the giant short-faced bear. It stood 10 feet tall when on its hind feet. Sharp teeth and strong jaw were made to eat meat. At 2,000 pounds, this big furry lug weighed almost as much as a VW bug. Having sighted the bear, we will now move on to the Great Ice Age cat we call Smilodon. It had these long fangs like sabers, and that is the reason we call it a saber-toothed cat. It hunted and scavenged, thing to say it's true, from Canada all the way down to Peru. Were there Ice Age horses? Oh my, yes, of course, from the pygmy on up to what we call giant horse. We know of the giant from one single find, a giant-sized tooth which boggles the mind. The great Irish elk, I will state loud and clear, holds the all-time record for world's biggest deer. With its antlers a whopping, it used them to show other elks who was boss. Bull fought with bull, then the lucky winner took the prize cow on a date out to dinner. The next mammal on deck, oh heed me my son, is the woolly one we call the Steppe Bison. An Alaskan mummy that was frozen and dried gave us an idea of how one bison died. A lion tooth cracked and was left behind, as fossils go, an unusual find. And there on its flank a series of scratches to a lion's claw make the perfect matches. Mammals and mastodons, I will now tell you kids, belong to the order we call proboscids. Standing 14 feet high, mammoths once put away 700 whole pounds of plant matter each day. Tusks 16 feet long, growing outward and curled, made mammoth the tusk king of the Ice Age world. Of mammoth fossils there are scales, scats and scats, bones of the moms and the babies and dads. In Hot Springs, South Dakota, 60 mammoths were found. Where is a sinkhole? They got stuck and drowned. Mammoths and mastodons, some people will claim, with their fur tusks and trunks were really the same, but shorter of tusk and with legs not as long. Mastodon was smaller, though still plenty strong. Mammoth's skull was domed and mastodon's flat, but the difference you see goes well beyond that. The big difference lies in their teeth, not their bones. Mammoth's teeth were flat, mastodons shaped like cones. Were there humans back then? Yes, there were, by all means, the stars of their very own great Ice Age scenes. These folks lived together in a family brood, making fire for warmth and for cooking their food. They gathered up fruit and roots, nuts and seeds, and killed to get meat and for their other needs. The Ice Age worker who is pictured here is chipping flint points to tie on his spear. They were not just hunters, men brave of heart. These Stone Age people were skilled at art. From stones and shells and dried up seeds, they made headdresses and strings of beads. With a flute cut of bone or an empty conch shell, they would make music, and some danced as well. But the thing they could make that stands well apart is their bold and colorful cave wall art. These great works of art are still being found on walls inside caves deep under the ground. In colors and lines these Stone Ages drew the Ice Age mammals they hunted and slew. Such beautiful pictures as you can see here: rhino, mammoth, bison, lion, bear, and deer. But the one missing mammal that I would like to see in the bold caved wall picture is little old me. The end. That's a cool book. I love you, Lucas. I love you, Leia. Goodbye.